the Healing Through Love podcast with Charlene Lynch and Rose Davidson.
Welcome to the Healing Through Love podcast. I'm Charlene Lynch, and together we're shining a light on hope, resilience, and transformation in the journey to end domestic violence. Each week, we bring you inspiring interviews with change makers, survivors, advocates, and experts who are making a difference in the lives of those affected by family and domestic violence. Whether you're on a healing journey yourself or supporting someone who is, this is the space for powerful stories, practical tools, and heartfelt inspiration. Together, let's heal at the speed of love. I love it. I love it. And as always, we've got an amazing guest. And today we've got Julz Vitality. We've got to find out about that last name. She's a woman just like you who knows what it's like when life completely shifts under your feet. After her own journey through major life changes and trauma, she discovered that healing happens through your own mind's eye, whether you're actually on a plane, on the plane of your dreaming destination, or you know what? I'm just going to introduce you and unpack and explain to me, how did you get here?
All right. So what I was trying to say with saying that healing happens in your mind's eye is that to get out of a situation, and we know many gurus talk about it, is we need to visualize the end result or the goal or the dream. If we continue talking about how unhappy we are, how stuck we are, the bad place we're in, we're going to perpetuate that situation. So escaping mentally is a first step toward healing. That's basically to summarize my philosophy of life. And writing, I write blog, magazine, books, and all kinds of writing, content creation as well. So my name, last name, is not a real name, but it is actually something that goes right along with my philosophy of what it is that I aspire to be. And I aspire to be an example and an inspiration of vitality, both mentally, physically, spiritually, as a lifetime learner, and as a community leader and host. I have a community of women that love traveling, and they look at travel as something that helped them heal in one way or another, or find themselves and who they truly are. Or it could be a sign of freedom to them. Maybe they've escaped a relationship or a bond of some sort, could be a job, that really created that desire to be free and feel like they have the right to be themselves. So that's just a little bit about my philosophy. Here we go.
I love it. I love it. And, for listeners, you'd all be aware that what I talk about on stages is the shift process. So a mind shift expert as opposed to a mindset expert. And the very first letter of shift, the very first letter is S, and that is to see the big picture. And that is about visualizing. So for myself, hand on heart, as a woman who is, let's say, neurospicy, a little bit, a few complex issues, that if I started where I was and tried to shift, tried to change, tried to move forward, then as a hoarder, I'm surrounded by 33 cubic meters of stuff. So it's hard to move forward. Yes, and when we see the big picture, when we visualize, when we paint the picture of the reality that we want to look at, even if it's far-fetched from where we are right now, then 100% is the place to start. Now, truth, isn't it the very first step of manifestation?
It is absolutely. I was just actually reviewing my old content on Instagram, and I saw my own reel like for the first time in a couple of years, I guess, with the three basic manifestation steps that it all gets brought down to. First being visualize the end result or the dream. Second one, elevated emotion. How would you feel when that is completed, when the dream is true, when it's there, when it's your reality? And third is just give in, surrender, and let the universe figure it out
Oh, I love
on
it.
its own agenda.
I love it. I love it. So that's the allowing. And that's where, like, I wasn't getting it right initially, is I was not allowing. I was trying to manipulate, trying to force, trying to push the outcome. And you're right. It's about having that vision. It's holding yourself in that frequency, that level of expectation for the outcome. And then on every level is the allowing. Yes. And the little step in between that I've added is action. So one thing that I've noticed as a person who's neurospicy is even if I can think the thoughts, hold the frequency, and before the allowing is actually take some level of action. For me, as a woman who's recovered from alcohol and all of the other complex challenges, I needed to take some action steps before I was in that space of allowing and accepting and yeah. So, but you know what? I love it. I love it. Manifestation in 3 steps. It's beautiful. And, humans out there listening today, you're manifesting on a daily basis. Think about those angel car parks you get. Think about that person who calls and you were just thinking about them. We manifest even without knowing that we're manifesting. And what Julz is talking about is, conscious manifestation is actually using the frequency, dialing into it for that beautiful outcome. I love it. Okay, so now tell us the story of how you got here to where you are today. What was the life-altering thing that shook your world that made you wake up and take those steps in the right direction?
Yeah, without getting into a lot of details, I had a series of unfortunate events. There was an infidelity, there was pandemic, there were violent conflicts surrounding my family, and a burnout. So with all that, I'd say maybe it was the final push. Although later on, when I started my healing, I realized a lot of it was happening beforehand. And had I known the principles, even, understanding the human behavior that I do now, I probably wouldn't have ended up there. So I take full accountability of my own part in what happened and maybe even manifesting or leaving life to default versus design. I take accountability for that. But I believe that it started happening sooner, and the burnout is not an overnight process. It happens day by day, to the point where I hit a cognitive dissonance where I was acting as one person and I was actually being a different person inside, that it was so lost that I didn't know who it was. And through my healing, it was a journey of finding who that person is, and shedding those layers of onion that were covering the core so much that person was really lost. So it was easy to slide off the trail that, the life was putting in front of me. And I was like, okay, well, I just go that way, versus pausing and thinking, what do I want? Versus setting an intention, versus saying, this is not acceptable. And I love how you brought up the principle of action and also control, like how you were not able to initially give in to the power of the universe to help you manifest things you wanted to take control. And that's what often happens in relationships that end up falling apart, is one person grips so hard, or sometimes both, to that feeling of control, that's what really breaks the relationship. It's like that butterfly on your palm that when it's relaxed, it'll stay there as long as your palm is relaxed. But as soon as you think of tensing it, it's going to fly away. Right. So it's a great lesson for us to learn that law of allowing, or letting go, or delegating things to the universe. I'm sure it's one of the tricks Hicks, Sarah and Abraham use, where it's a piece of paper, or she actually started it on a placemat in a restaurant, delegating things that are outside of your control to the universe, and not being bogged down with it, and continue through. But back to the series of unfortunate events, it shook me out of the situation I was in, being on the path of completely losing myself. I went to therapy, and one of the first exercises was to do mirror work, to stand in front of the mirror and look at myself in the eyes, which was hard enough. Then telling myself I like myself and love myself, that was unbelievably difficult. I resisted it. I argued with the therapist and said, why do I need to do this? This has nothing to do with what's happened. But she knew that the root cause was really in how I manage life, my outlook, my mindset, right? So thankfully, due to series of fortunate events and coincidences and people I met, and I also had a podcast and interviewed a lot of coaches, they were healing me through the sessions that we had, through the interviews and through sharing their stories. It was very healing. So little by little I started recovering from that, and again I'll do a, I go over several years of that journey. I believe in some way or another we go through hard times to be able to help others to not go through the same hard times as harshly, maybe learn some lessons from us. So I'm again in the same place right now, helping women not feel alone, having a community of women who can talk to each other, who can talk to me, who can ask difficult questions, who can share difficult experiences and not be judged. And again, help them go through the same journey of finding who they really are, finding what they really want, what they're called to do, so that we can come to be in the healthier place together. Although I think the healing will never be finished. It's not a destination, it's a process. And you know that. And but what we can do is support one another and make it a more pleasant journey.
Oh, I love it. It's so true. Change whispers to us before it yells. And unfortunately, sometimes we need to get to a point, a breaking point in our lives where we can hear the yelling. So I love the shift of awareness and now out the other side of all of my challenges. So if I can see that my shift to having a greater awareness, physically what's happening, mentally, spiritually what's happening, having a level of awareness to hold awareness for other people as well, so that I can have that heightened level of curiosity about what's happening in their space as well as because before it was very pointed inwards. And yeah, so for me, it's been journaling, like on every level. That whole shift has been journaling, and in the very first instance, I really did need journal prompts to get started because I'm like looking at a blank journal now. What do I do with this? And then obviously now we don't need prompts, but. So, listeners, if you're listening, like that shift when change is just whispering, if you can lean in and become curious and lift your level of awareness. For me, it was journaling. But like, what do you do, Jules, to shift your level of awareness? For me, on every level, it's journaling. What do you do?
Yeah, I actually do quite a few things that I've incorporated in a very simple routine. So after studying so many things, it's like, oh, you can't do all of it, right? So the key times during the day is first thing when you wake up and last thing before bed, so that we can sort of impact our subconscious healing a bit better, or as well as manifestation. So first thing before going, well, let's just start from the beginning of the day. The first thing before I wake up or before I fully open my eyes and start moving, when my mind is awake, I try to set an intention for the day, gratitude, for even sometimes for my own body. There was a really simple trick sometimes when you forget to be grateful is when you step down off your bed and that foot touches the ground, you say thank your right foot, then you say thank your left foot. And as you go through your day, you brush your teeth, you literally thank every single part you're using. Even that puts you in the gratitude frequency, that even if everything else is going wrong in your life, that you still have always. Right? Still have your body. You could be grateful for the body you have. Even if something hurts, be grateful for the 99% that doesn't hurt. Then, as I go through the day, I try to be again conscious, as you said, being tuning in. What am I feeling? Is something off? What's going on? Check in, right? And sometimes if it's new to someone, they can set an alarm. They can check in with themselves. Sometimes it's a glass of water. Sometimes maybe it's a nap that I need. Just showing myself more grace that I've ever shown in my life, that anybody have ever shown in me in my life, or should I say, more grace to myself than I've shown to other people. Because we're really good at showing grace to other people, people who depend on us, friends, partners, and so on. When it comes to ourselves, we're the last person on the list. So remembering that, being aware of that, and prioritizing self, and not judging ourselves for wanting something, for feeling tired, for whatever it is, just allowing again, the word comes back, to have the fluctuations, and especially entering uh, perimenopause, I feel like sometimes I don't have control of what's happening, and my emotions and hormones are taking over. And again, it's something new for me that I'm having to get used to, these mood swings and the energy swings and all these things. So again, allowing having grace. So I'll just generalize that throughout the day, having grace for yourself, pursuing healthy habits, depending what your goals are. Maybe it's activity, maybe it's drinking more water, whatever your goals are, try to stay consistent, at least to a degree. Maybe not every other day, but okay, today I skip it. So tomorrow I'm making a commitment I'm going to make up tomorrow. Then the key time again is before dozing off, is consciously recognizing good things that went well throughout the day. And another trick that Neville Goddard changes is reframing what didn't go well as to how you wish it went. Right. So, and feeling that. So instead of saying, "Oh, I had a fight with such and such," would have been nice if the conversation went this way and we ended up having disagreement. And you think about that and makes you feel good versus being resentful or any negative feelings. And then you let go again, allow things to take care of themselves before you enter your sleep, and you set an intention. Sometimes you just want to set it for the night, peaceful night sleep, restful recovery, whatever it is, or maybe for the next 24 hours. Okay, today, I'm gonna sleep today. Today didn't go well in this and this regard. My intention is that tomorrow this and this will fix itself. Okay, just that little is good. If you can incorporate frequencies, I love frequency. I listen to them all the time, even if it's nature sounds or literally I wake up and I go, Alexa, play love frequency. Like, she knows now what I want, or there's a healing frequency station in Spotify. Let it just be in the background. It doesn't have to be loud. You don't even have to hear it. It vibrates the atmosphere even without you knowing. So affirmation videos and audios and subliminal. So those are the things that are completely effortless. I've already incorporated them to a degree that literally I have a swipe up two letters, and in the morning I have a morning affirmation audio that sounds well before I wake up. And usually it takes me like about 8 to 9 minutes when I'm actually consciously listening to it. But it is reprogramming your mind. And I've shared it with a lot of people, and they thank me to this day, like, oh, I use all of this stuff that you've shared with me, and it really helped me through my divorce, through this breakup, or through all these little, setbacks that life continuously throws at us. So I think consistently doing whatever works for your schedule, but having these mindset reminders to yourself first thing in the morning and last thing before bed, as a minimum, I think that would really improve everybody's life.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Look, we know, audience, that the frequency of gratitude is 540 hertz. That's right up there with love. So that is a high frequency. And when you shift that frequency, you will heal at the speed of love. I love it. Now, you offer an amazing Soul SOS emergency kit that the link will be in the show notes and in the show description. Can you unpack that for us today?
Yeah, it's something that I wish I had when I was going through hard times. And sometimes we don't have somebody to help us, but this is something that can help us. The last part is actually a set of affirmation audio. So you can watch it as a YouTube video, but it just has the audio. Um, Screensavers. So for the phone, how many times throughout the day we look at our phone and swipe it up, right? So that image that appears first thing that you pick up the phone, there's about a dozen of them that I put in there. For example, this too shall pass, with a nice little image that will remind you that you'll get through it. So a few of those, you can pick the ones you like, or you can alternate through them. And then there is a little guide as to, actually journal prompts that you can use to either journal or just think about those things, that you don't have to actually write if you can't. You can use your note app in your phone, or you can mentally answer those questions just to help you get through the rough times and reframe again what the negative thoughts that might be coming through your mind. So I think those things that again interrupt the pattern of suffering in the moment. That's kind of what I intended with this SOS kit.
Oh, I love a pattern interrupt. It's my favorite thing. It's definitely got me from where I was to where I am today. I love it. We could talk all day. There's so much to talk about. We speak the same frequency. I love it. I love it. I love it. But to our audiences today, it would be really great if you could share your final words of wisdom to our audience.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say what I just mentioned, that this too shall pass, is a powerful statement. Sometimes when we're on a high, remembering that remembering that feeling, actually, I'd say tune into that feeling, remember it for later, for when you're gonna maybe need some of that you know reflection back to your happy times. Having Creating a toolkit for those low times from your high moments. For me, it could be scrolling through my Instagram feed and seeing the places that I've traveled to, or maybe it's a gathering with friends, or maybe it's a song that makes you happy. So having a few of those tools when you do feel good, when you notice that something made you feel good, remember that, and place it somewhere where you can find it when you're not feeling so good. And at the times when it's not the best time of your life or the best time of your day, remembering that that too shall pass will remind you that there's no need to overreact, catastrophize, or think that that's going to be the rest of your life. You will figure it out. Again, let the universe figure it out for you. Remember to reframe to what you would rather have happened, and set an intention for it improving, even if it's as simple as, I want more peace, right? Whatever you can think of in the moment of being down, whatever positive outcome you can desire instead, that alone is like what I was mentioning in the beginning, is to get out of the situation, you can't continue dwelling on the situation. Pick something that's going to take you out of the situation and dwell on that.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. If you're listening today and you are a survivor of family and or domestic violence, reach out to Healing Through Love. We have Pamper Days, think day spa on steroids, where we have 25 practitioners hold the space for you for the day for free and to help you heal at that speed of love. And if you're listening today and you are a practitioner, if you've got a gift to share, even if it's just something simple like doing a hand massage, please reach out to Healing Through Love. We're looking for practitioners all over the globe to connect you with our local coordinators. We would love to have you share this experience with us. It's been a privilege and a pleasure to chat with you today, and I'd love to have you back as a guest after Christmas. That would be amazing. Goodbye from me at Healing Through Love.
Thank you, Charlene.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Healing Through Love. You can get further resources, see the show notes, or simply reach out to us via our website at htlaustralia.org. Thanks so much for joining us, and we look forward to your company next time on the Healing Through Love podcast.